Honourable member for Regina West-Canada.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm pleased to have the opportunity this evening to follow up on a question that I asked in question period on October 20th regarding this Liberal government's opposition to liquefied natural gas exports to Europe. For context, shortly after Vladimir Putin's illegal invasion of Ukraine in February of 2022, the leaders of Western European countries started to take steps to end their dependence on oil and gas imports from Russia. This makes a great deal of sense because buying oil and gas from Russia means funding Vladimir Putin's war machine against Ukraine. So what exactly did the leaders of Europe do? Well, in August of last year, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz visited Canada looking to buy more oil and gas from this country. Unfortunately, this Prime Minister told him that there has never been a strong business case for Canadian oil and gas exports to Europe. So what did the German Chancellor do next? He flew to the Middle East to see if the dictators of the United Arab Emirates and Qatar felt that there was a strong business case for oil and gas exports to Europe. Those Middle Eastern dictators were happy to sign a multi-year memorandum of understanding that will guarantee steady oil and gas exports to Germany for years to come. But the story doesn't end there. Last month, France, the Netherlands, and Italy all signed separate agreements to import LNG from Qatar for the next 27 years. And so that raises the question, why isn't Canada exporting LNG to Europe? Well, according to a report released by the Fraser Institute shortly after Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine last year, quote, unfortunately, despite being the world's 5th largest producer of natural gas, Canada has missed the opportunity to expand our supply of LNG to overseas markets due to a lack of export infrastructure, largely due to regulatory barriers and environmental activism, unquote. In fact, Canada does not have a single operational LNG export facility, and only one is under construction. That's the Coastal GasLink project in British Columbia. And so that brings us to my question in question period last month, when I asked if this Liberal government still believes that there is no business case for Canadian LNG exports. What was the government's response? Quote, Mr. Speaker, it's really shameful that the Conservative Party would use this humanitarian situation to peddle conspiracy theories, unquote. Madam Speaker, I would really like to know, what conspiracy theories was the Liberal minister referring to? Were last year's LNG deals between Germany and Qatar and the United Arab Emirates all conspiracy theories? When German Chancellor Olaf Scholz visited Canada last year, was he part of the conspiracy? What about the 3 agreements that Qatar signed last month with France, the Netherlands, and Italy? Are they in on the conspiracy as well? What about the 6,000 people who worked on the construction of the Coastal GasLink pipeline? Does the Liberal minister think that they are part of the conspiracy too? Madam Speaker, I would really like to know.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Energy and Natural Resources.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank the member for the important question. Companies and countries around the world are making decisions to ensure that they are able to access and deliver energy that is reliable, clean, and affordable. That is true in Canada and around the world. Russia's invasion of Ukraine included significant impacts on global energy markets and supply chains. That is why the European Union signaled that they are looking to secure and sustainable sources of energy, stating that it's clean energy that will play the largest role in their long-term energy security. Madam Speaker, we must be skating where the puck is going. Les conservateurs sont des anti-changement climatique.
Conservatives are climate change deniers, but they need to at least recognize that our allies and partners in Europe are not climate change deniers. We know that energy security and climate action go hand in hand. We need to support Canadian projects to give energy to our allies. And when it comes to these projects, I can confirm to members across the way that our government has a much better track record than the Conservatives on all fronts.
We've approved, as the member mentioned, Cedar Project in BC, led by Isla Nation, which a small-scale floating facility and marine export terminal. And beyond LNG, there are many increasing important resources of low-carbon fuel that we're working actively on. One of the top 10 hydrogen-producing countries is Canada, has emerged as a leader in developing new hydrogen and fuel cell technologies. And allow me to add that the Atlantic Canada will be a significant driver of that as well. The Canada-Germany Hydrogen Alliance also will export hydrogen to Germany as early as 2025. And just last week, we announced financing of major hydrogen projects in Nova Scotia using wind power.
Once the Conservatives stop their shameful blocking of Bill C-49, we will be able to get started on building wind turbines, offshore ones, in Newfoundland and Labrador and in Nova Scotia. This will mean thousands of jobs and a ton of clean energy for electricity grids, and we will be able to develop hydrogen, zero-emission hydrogen for export. They are harming our economic future, but we are taking action to build the future.
Our efforts to bring clean nuclear energy and biofuels to our allies. There are growing opportunities for Canada, can-do technology. Earlier this year, the Minister of Energy joined the Romanian Minister to announce $3 billion loan to Romania that will be best spent on building 2 new can-do reactors in Romania. All of this money will be spent on Canadian companies. Good jobs for the clean sector will be powered in Romania and at no cost to the taxpayer. This will help Romania to phase out coal and provide clean power to countries that are looking to move away from Russia. On biofuels, we continue to invest this year in Canadian innovation to support our allies' energy needs. In May, we announced $86 million to save and retool the Come By Chance refinery in Newfoundland and Labrador, so that the former oil refinery can lead the region in sustainable biofuel production. Canada will continue to be a reliable and steady global supplier of clean energy. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The honourable member for Regina, Wascana.
Madam Speaker, in the Liberal minister's original response last month, he said, quote, "It's really shameful that the Conservative Party would use this humanitarian situation to peddle conspiracy theories," unquote. I find the use of the word shameful to be very interesting. What exactly is it that the Liberals find to be shameful? Do the Liberals think that it was shameful for German Chancellor Olaf Scholz to go to the Middle East to buy oil and gas after this Prime Minister gave him the cold shoulder? Is it shameful for other European countries to buy LNG from Qatar, given this Prime Minister's statements? And do the Liberals think that the 6,000 people who worked on the Coastal GasLink LNG project should be ashamed for providing clean, ethical Canadian energy to the world?
L'honorable député.
The honourable member, the honourable parliamentary secretary.
Ironic to hear the Conservatives pretend to care about Canada's economic future when their campaign on climate denialism has prevented them from supporting even the most popular economic opportunities. The Conservatives are currently using shameful tactics in the Natural Resources Committee to hold back C-49. C-49 plays a key role in allowing for the development of offshore wind power, a key component for hydrogen and clean electricity. This is critical for improving global energy security and growing the number of good-paying jobs available across all Atlantic provinces. Nous avons déjà conclu un accord avec
We have already reached deals with Germany and the European Union for hydrogen export. The two provincial premiers support this legislation, and industry also asked us to take these steps. The only obstacle here is the Conservative Party of Canada and its shameful campaign against all forms of climate action. Madam Speaker, while the Conservatives... Apologies. The time has run out. It's only 1 minute for the reply.
Honourable member Kitchener.